we have to turn on the power supply, and it's not hooked up to a motherboard or a power on switch. So what I'm going to do is, this is a green wire right here, and that's on pin 14, and that's the power on line. So when you push the on button on your computer, which is kept alive by the 5 volt standby voltage, it is going to, through several gates and electronics, it's going to ground this green wire, and that's what turns the power supply on. So I'm going to use this paper clip, and I'm going to put it right into the green wire, and I'm going to ground it to one of the black wires. The black is ground. The green is on pin 14. So there we go. And now the power supply, the power supply is turning, the fan I should say, and the power supply is now on, just like it was hooked up to a motherboard and an on switch. This ATX power supply has a 20-pin connector, and pin 14 is the power on green wire. This is the power on wire, and this must be connected continuously to a ground. That's why we use this shorting paper clip. Now, the short can be between the green wire and any of these black pins, and that's because these are the ground, and they go back to the power supply, and they are connected to a common ground in the power supply. Now, what is the difference between the 20-pin ATX connector and the 24-pin ATX connector? Well, it happens that the 24-pin has the exact same pin-for-pin layout for the top 20 pins. And we can see that the orange is here, and the orange is here, the blue is here, the blue, all the pins have the same color, they have the same key shape, they're exactly in the same position. However, the pin numbers are different. So in the 24-pin, the green wire would be pin 16. In the 20-pin, it would be pin 14, but it's in exactly the same position. Now the difference is that in the 24-pin ATX connector, you have the bottom 4 pins, and these are extra power pins. Now here's the yellow, and that's always going to be 12 volt. Here's the orange, and we know that orange is 3.3 volts. The red is 5 volt. And here we have the ground. Now, if you're going to use a 24-pin connector on a motherboard that has a 20-pin connector, these snap off. These 4 just snap right off, and you can hook up these 20 pins as if it was a 20-pin connector. It's exactly the same. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to measure the voltage. Now, as you can see, I've already cut. The yellow wire is the 12 volt, and the red wire is the 5 volt. And I needed to cut them to measure the current, because when you hook up a meter to measure current, it has to be in series. And I'm going to show you how to hook that up. But right now, I'm just going to look at the voltage and see what. Well, I have to turn this on, don't I? And I have to put this to the voltage, and I have to select, that's AC, that little squiggly line is AC, DC voltage, and now I have to select the range. Okay, that looks good, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my black lead into the ground, and I'm going to put my red lead, which is the positive lead, into the 5 volts. And I have 5.1 volts. So that's working pretty good. Now I'm just going to move this over here. I have 2 ground wires, and I have to move it so that I can get the pin in. And this is the 12 volt line. And I have 11.6 volts. Well, that's pretty good.